What if I told you that a single penny sitting in your drawer could be worth $3 million? Yes, you heard that right, $3 million. Now, before you go rummaging through your spare change, let me ask you this: do you know what makes some coins so valuable? Or why certain pennies, like the 1964 Lincoln penny, are prized by collectors willing to pay life-changing amounts for them? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll not only know the secrets behind this elusive coin but also how you could cash in on one of the most profitable hobbies in the world. And fair warning, ignoring this opportunity might just cost you your shot at retiring early. Let's dive in. The 1964 penny might look like any other coin at first glance. It's small, coppery, and probably jingling around in your spare change jar. But here's the kicker: it's not just another penny. In 1964, the U.S. Mint in Denver produced a staggering number of pennies. Most were ordinary, but a rare few contained subtle minting errors that turned them into pure gold for collectors. Now, here's where it gets fascinating, and, frankly, a little unbelievable. Some 1964 pennies were struck with double dies, meaning parts of the coin show slight doubling in the design. These errors, along with pristine condition and historical significance, make the coin astronomically valuable. How valuable? Well, a 1964 penny in nearly flawless condition recently fetched nearly $3 million at auction. That's enough to buy your dream home, a luxury car, or even quit your job and live comfortably for years. Okay, let's pause for a second. How many of you are actually thinking about calling your boss to quit right now? Just me? Here's what you need to do: grab any 1964 pennies you have and check for these key details. Look for the D mint mark just below the year, inspect the coin for doubling in the letters, numbers, or Lincoln's face, check the condition. Coins that look practically brand new are worth the most. But wait, there's a catch. The coin market is booming, and serious buyers are searching high and low for these rare pennies. The longer you wait, the harder it may become to find buyers willing to pay top dollar. What if you've already spent one of these coins without realizing its true value? Now, here's the exciting part. If you think you found a 1964 penny or another rare coin, don't sit on it. Reach out to reputable coin dealers or auction houses. Many offer free evaluations to determine if your coin is the real deal, and don't underestimate the power of knowledge. Rare coins like these are often undervalued because people simply don't know what to look for. By educating yourself, you can turn something as small as a penny into a financial windfall. Seriously, when was the last time you looked at a coin and thought, this could pay off my mortgage? In a matter of days, you could go from holding a forgotten piece of spare change to cashing a check big enough to change your life. So, what's next? Start your treasure hunt. Check your old jars, your wallets, or even those dusty drawers in your home. And when you find something that looks promising, don't hesitate to act. Time is money, and in this case, so is that little copper coin in your hand. Because who knows? That penny you've been ignoring could be the key to unlocking the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. Let's imagine this: you're sorting through an old jar of pennies, probably something you've had for years, and there it is, a 1968 Lincoln penny with a tiny S mint mark. You toss it aside, thinking, just another penny, right? But what if I told you that this exact penny could be worth more than $2.8 million? That's right, a single penny, possibly hiding in your collection right now, could be your golden ticket to a life of luxury. Most people wouldn't recognize its value even if it was staring them in the face. Could you? Stick with me because, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this coin so special, how to spot it, and how to avoid the critical mistake most people make when trying to cash in. Quick question: when was the last time you actually checked your change? If your answer is never, you might want to start today. So, what's the deal with the 1968 Lincoln penny? First, the S mint mark tells us this coin was minted in San Francisco. These coins were already produced in limited quantities, but the real kicker? A rare error during minting has made some of these pennies highly valuable. This is a striking error where the design on the coin appears doubled. It's subtle but unmistakable once you know what to look for. letters like Liberty or In God We Trust might appear shadowed or slightly doubled. Coins in mint state condition are worth exponentially more. Even a small scratch can reduce the value significantly. Now, why is this tiny copper coin fetching millions at auctions? Two reasons: rarity and demand. Collectors and investors go wild for coins like this because they're almost impossible to find. Out of the billions of pennies minted, only a handful of these rare errors exist, but here's the scary part: many people unknowingly spend or toss these valuable coins. Imagine having $2.8 million slip through your fingers because you didn't know what to look for. That's the kind of regret no one wants to live with. By the way, if you're already thinking, I don't have the patience to check all my pennies, let me ask you this: would you throw away a lottery ticket without checking the numbers? Because that's essentially what you're doing if you skip this step. If you think you found a 1968 double die penny, here's your game plan: take your coin to a reputable coin dealer or submit it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Authentication is crucial. Without it, no one will take you seriously. Do not clean the coin, seriously, don't. Even wiping it with a cloth can lower its value by thousands. Once authenticated, you'll need an expert to appraise its market value. Here's the exciting part: one 1968 penny sold for $2.8 million at auction. But rumor has it, there are more out there. The question is, could one be in your pocket right now? Let me leave you with this thought: what would you do with $2.8 million? Pay off your debts? Travel the world? Or finally live the life you've always dreamed of? Don't let this opportunity slip through your fingers. Hit that subscribe button, share this video with your friends, and start checking your coins. You never know, your next penny could be the key to unlocking a wealthy lifestyle. Did you know that a single coin in your collection, or even in your spare change, could be worth more than a luxury car or even your dream home? Yes, you heard me right. A 1971 mint Mark Lincoln penny has reportedly fetched up to $2.5 million at auction. Imagine holding on to that kind of fortune, just sitting in a jar or tucked away in a drawer. Now, here's the catch: many people don't even realize they have one of these ultra-rare coins. That's the difference between someone striking it rich and someone letting their golden opportunity slip through their fingers. And before you say, this sounds too good to be true, stick around. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to identify its value, and, most importantly, how to avoid missing out on what could be your financial breakthrough. When was the last time you checked your pennies? No, seriously. If it was more than a month ago, you might want to pause this video and grab that stash right now. Just kidding, but only kind of. Here's why the 1971 mint Mark Lincoln penny is so special. It's not just a random penny from your childhood piggy bank, it's a rare find minted in San Francisco. These coins stand out because of their unique characteristics, which we'll cover in a moment. But here's where things get even more fascinating: a small number of these pennies were struck with a double die obverse error, making them extremely valuable. Now, let's put this into perspective. Out of the billions of pennies produced each year, only a handful feature this rare error. That's like finding a needle in a haystack, or maybe even a diamond in the rough, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Some collectors and auction houses are willing to pay life-changing sums to own one of these beauties. In 2023, a 1971 double die penny was sold for over $2.5 million. Imagine what that could do for your retirement, your family, or even your dream of living a luxurious lifestyle. But here's the scary part: most people unknowingly spend these pennies at the grocery store, or worse, dump them into Coinstar machines for a fraction of their worth. Just think about how devastating that would be, losing millions because you didn't know better. Are you starting to feel a little nervous? Good. That urgency you're feeling right now could be the difference between cashing in big and missing out entirely. Speaking of which, ever wonder why rare coins seem to always surface after someone else has already sold theirs? It's because people aren't paying attention. But not you, not anymore. So, how do you know if you've struck gold, or copper, in this case? Here's what to look for: check just below the date on the front of the penny. If you see a tiny S, that means your coin was minted in San Francisco. That's the first clue. Look closely at the lettering, especially Liberty and In God We Trust. If the letters appear doubled, you might just have the jackpot in your hands. While circulated pennies can still be valuable, uncirculated or near perfect condition coins command the highest prices. If you're unsure, don't just throw it on eBay and hope for the best. Consult with a reputable coin dealer or appraiser who specializes in rare coins. A second opinion could mean the difference between selling it for hundreds and selling it for millions. By the way, if you're thinking, this sounds like a treasure hunt, you're absolutely right. But don't worry, no maps or pirate ships are required. Before we wrap up, let me leave you with one final cliffhanger. What if I told you there's another coin, one even more valuable than the 1971 penny, hiding in plain sight? That's a story for another video, but for now, let's focus on uncovering your potential fortune. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Start searching your pennies today, because every minute you wait is a chance for someone else to discover what could have been yours. Remember, it's not just a coin. It's your gateway to financial freedom and the wealthy lifestyle you've always dreamed of. What if I told you that an ordinary penny sitting in your pocket could be worth a staggering $2.4 million? Sounds like a dream, right? But it's not, it's the incredible truth. And today, we're diving deep into the 1978 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, one of the most sought-after treasures in the coin-collecting world. Before you roll your eyes and think, yeah, right. Who actually finds these? Let me ask you this. When was the last time you really looked at your change? Because trust me, million-dollar stories don't start with, I ignored that penny. So, how can you tell if you have one of these golden tickets in your pocket, and why is this penny so ridiculously valuable? Let's unravel the mystery. Back in 1978, millions of Lincoln pennies rolled off the presses, each stamped with the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln. But here's where things get interesting. A rare few of these coins never received a mint mark, a tiny detail that makes a massive difference. Here's the scary part. 99% of people wouldn't even notice the missing mint mark. They'd spend it on a coffee or toss it into a jar, completely unaware they've let a life-changing fortune slip away. Could that have already happened to you? But why does the absence of a mint mark matter so much? Let me explain. Coins minted without a mark, indicating their origin, are mistakes, or what experts call error coins. These errors make them exceptionally rare and highly valuable. And collectors? They're willing to pay millions for these unique pieces of history. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, great. But how do I know if I have this penny? Hold that thought, because I'm about to reveal exactly what to look for, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. Here's how you identify the legendary 1978 no-mint mark penny. First, check the front of the coin, near the year 1978. Do you see a tiny D or S? If not, you might be holding an unmarked treasure. Next, inspect its condition. Coins in pristine condition, what collectors call mint state, fetch the highest prices. But even worn versions can sell for tens of thousands. Imagine finding one in your collection. That's not just a penny, it's a ticket to financial freedom, to the life you've always dreamed of. Think about what you could do with that kind of money: travel the world, pay off debts, or secure your family's future. And hey, wouldn't it be nice to casually drop into a conversation, yeah, I made millions off a penny? Talk about flipping the coin on your luck. But here's the thing, time is of the essence. Rare coins like this don't just sit on the market. Once collectors snap them up, the prices skyrocket. So, if you think you might have one, now is the time to act. In fact, there's one crucial step every rare coin owner must take to ensure they get the maximum value for their find. And it's something most people overlook. I'll tell you what it is, right after this. Before you go digging through your change jar, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll guide you through every step of evaluating, grading, and selling your rare coins. Together, we'll unlock the treasures hiding right under your nose. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a penny, and realizing it could be worth a staggering $2.2 million. Sounds like a dream, right? But for some lucky individuals, it's their reality. Yes, that humble 1979 Lincoln penny you've been ignoring could be your golden ticket to a wealthy lifestyle. Before you dismiss it as just another penny, let me ask you this: how often do we overlook the hidden treasures in our everyday lives? Are we walking past fortune without even knowing it? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot a coin that could transform your life. Let's start with why the 1979 penny is so special. First, the D mint mark tells us it was struck at the Denver Mint. But not every 1979 penny is valuable, far from it. We're talking about a rare error coin, one of the most elusive treasures in American numismatics. What makes this penny worth millions? In most cases, it's a dramatic minting mistake, a double die or a misalignment that gives the coin its extraordinary value. Think about it: a factory error in 1979, unnoticed by millions, is now creating millionaires. Crazy, isn't it? And here's where it gets fascinating. Many of these pennies are still in circulation today. That's right, you could unknowingly have one tucked away in an old jar, hiding in your glove compartment, or even at the bottom of your junk drawer. Here's a thought: when was the last time you checked your change? I'm betting you'll rush to do it after this video. Now, let's dive into the details you need to know. The most valuable 1979 Lincoln pennies exhibit features like these. Characteristics can skyrocket a coin's value from 1 cent to 7 figures. If your penny has these features, you're holding a fortune. But here's the kicker: time is running out. With collectors hunting these coins more aggressively than ever, every passing day decreases your odds of cashing in. Now you might be thinking, how do I know if my penny is the one? Great question. Here's what you need to do: examine every 1979 penny you have under a magnifying glass. Pay special attention to the date and mint mark. Look for any unusual patterns, doubling, or reflective surfaces. If you suspect you have a rare find, have it authenticated by a professional coin grading service. But here's the cliffhanger: what happens if you don't act now? Coins like this are a ticking time bomb in the market. Once collectors snap them up, their value could either skyrocket or disappear from the market entirely. What if the penny sitting in your drawer right now is the key to the lifestyle you've always dreamed of? Wouldn't it be worth taking 10 minutes to check? Oh, and here's something to ponder: if this penny could talk, what story would it tell? A journey from 1979 to your pocket, waiting for you to uncover its secret. So, are you ready to take action? Check your change. Inspect every coin. Your fortune could literally be at your fingertips. And who knows? Your story might just be the next one I tell about turning a penny into millions. Before you toss that penny away, stick with me. What I'm about to reveal could change the way you look at coins forever. Let's rewind. The 1981 no mint mark Lincoln penny is one of the most elusive coins in American history. But what exactly makes it so special? The story begins in Philadelphia, where these pennies were struck without a mint mark. While this wasn't uncommon at the time, what's extraordinary is the microscopic imperfections and rare errors that make this penny stand out. Now, don't go squinting at every penny in your wallet like Sherlock Holmes. Let's break it down so you know exactly what to look for. Check the edges for crisp details. Inspect the surface for doubling, essentially, a shadow-like image where the lettering or Lincoln's profile appears slightly blurred or layered. And most importantly, the absence of a mint mark under the date. This tiny detail could mean the difference between 1 cent and millions. But here's the scary part: less than 1% of people know how to identify coins like these. Some of these rare pennies are hiding in plain sight, waiting to be snatched up by the next sharp-eyed collector or dealer. Don't let your fortune slip through your fingers. And just when you think it's rare enough, there's an even bigger twist coming up. So, what is this penny actually worth? Let's talk numbers. A verified 1981 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny can fetch thousands, even millions, at auction. Recently, a coin like this sold for just shy of $2 million. That's not a dream, it's a documented reality. Imagine the doors that could open for you. A new home. Financial freedom. A legacy for your family. Who knew a penny could outshine a lottery ticket, right? But remember, opportunities like this don't wait around. Rare coins are skyrocketing in value, and every day you delay could mean another coin slips through the cracks. Have you checked your pennies yet? Because someone else is out there checking theirs. If you're ready to uncover the hidden treasures in your collection, here's what you need to do. Grab a magnifying glass, scour your coins, and compare them to the details I've shared. Still unsure? Reach out to an expert appraiser or coin dealer, just make sure it's someone you trust. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more tips on turning forgotten coins into fortunes. In my next video, we're diving into another shocking story, a Washington quarter worth thousands. If you thought pennies were exciting, just wait until you hear this. It could be hiding in your collection. Today, we're talking about the legendary 1992 Lincoln penny, a coin so rare and valuable it's turning everyday people into millionaires. But here's the catch: if you don't know what to look for, you could miss out on a life-changing opportunity. Imagine handing over your golden ticket to a buyer for just 1 cent, unknowingly walking away from a fortune. Sounds terrifying, doesn't it? Stick with me, because I'm about to make sure that never happens to you. Let's dive into the story of this unassuming penny. The 1992 Lincoln penny looks just like any other coin at first glance. It was minted in Denver, and at the time, over 4.6 billion Lincoln pennies were struck that year. Nothing special, right? Wrong. What sets this coin apart is a rare minting error, something so subtle it could easily escape even the sharpest eyes. It's all in the design. Most 1992 pennies have the words America and United States, with a noticeable gap between the A and M in America. But on the rare 1992 AM variety, there is no gap, the letters almost touch. Here's where it gets exciting. Experts say only a handful of these close AM pennies were mistakenly minted. That means if you find one, you're holding something incredibly rare. And you know what rarity means in the world of coin collecting? A potential fortune. Now, don't go flipping over your couch cushions just yet. There's more to this story. Let's talk numbers. In 2017, one of these elusive 1992 AM pennies sold for a jaw-dropping $1.15 million at auction. And just last year, another example fetched over $1.9 million. Yes, nearly $2 million, but here's the twist: many of these pennies are slipping through the cracks. People don't realize what they have, and they either spend these coins, toss them into change jars, or worse, sell them for pennies on the dollar. Imagine this scenario: you find a 1992 penny in your pocket, but you don't know it's worth millions. You sell it for face value or give it to someone who does know its worth. That sinking feeling? That's exactly what we're here to prevent. Don't be the person who trades a winning lottery ticket for a cup of coffee. Trust me, it's not worth it. Now, you're probably asking, how do I avoid that mistake? What exactly do I need to look for? Great question. Let's break it down. Here's how you find out if your 1992 penny is the $1 million close AM variety. Focus on the word America. If the A and M are so close they almost touch, you might be holding a jackpot. Look just below the date. If there's a small D mint mark, you're in business. It confirms the coin was struck in Denver. If you think you found one, don't try to sell it on your own. Take it to a professional coin dealer or auction house. They'll help you verify its authenticity and value, and remember, condition matters. Coins in pristine condition fetch the highest prices. That means the fewer scratches and wear marks, the more likely your penny will hit the $1 million mark. But what if I told you the 1992 close AM isn't the only valuable penny out there? In fact, there are dozens of other Lincoln pennies hiding in plain sight that could be worth small fortunes. Want to know which ones to hunt for next? Stick around until the end of this video, this is your moment. The 1992 D penny has turned ordinary people into millionaires, and the next one found could be yours. Don't leave this to chance. Take a moment to check your change jars, your old piggy banks, even that random drawer in the kitchen where loose coins collect dust. Remember, wealth is often hidden where we least expect it. And in this case, it's right there in your pocket. Would you believe me if I told you that a simple penny, a coin you've probably ignored countless times, could be worth $1.5 million? Yes, you heard that right. And not just any penny. I'm talking about the elusive 2000 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a rare gem hiding in plain sight. Before you go rummaging through your coin jar or flipping over your couch cushions, hear me out. This story might just change your life, or at least your wallet. But what makes this penny so special? And how can you know if you've struck gold, or, in this case, copper? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and how to cash in. Let's start with what a no-mint mark Lincoln penny even is. In 2000, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies, each stamped with tiny letters that indicate their place of origin: Denver, Philadelphia, or San Francisco. But every now and then, a penny slips through the cracks without a mint mark. This rare error makes it highly collectible, and potentially worth a fortune. But wait, why would a missing mint mark make a penny worth millions? After all, it's just a tiny letter, or lack thereof. Right? Here's the kicker: coins with errors, especially ones as rare as this, are like hidden treasures to collectors. They're willing to pay jaw-dropping sums for them, driving up the value. But what sets the 2000 no-mint mark Lincoln penny apart is its pristine condition. Coins graded as MS 68 or higher can sell for up to $1.5 million. That's the dream. Imagine explaining that to your friends. Yeah, I just paid off my mortgage with a penny. No big deal. Now, let's dig into the details. To spot one of these potential jackpots, look for a penny from the year 2000 with absolutely no mint mark under the date. And condition matters. Coins with scratches, dents, or discoloration lose their value significantly. But a flawless one? That's the goldmine. Speaking of condition, did you know there's one tiny detail that could either double or destroy the value of your coin? We'll get to that in just a moment. Now that you know what to look for, it's time to take action. Check your piggy banks, raid your old coin jars, and even look through those forgotten stashes in your drawers. You never know where this rare penny might be hiding. But here's the catch: with each passing year, these coins become harder to find. Most are either lost or already in the hands of collectors. So, the longer you wait, the slimmer your chances of cashing in on this incredible opportunity. Imagine holding a tiny piece of history that could turn into the payday of your dreams. A simple penny could unlock financial freedom, pay off debts, or even fund a luxurious vacation, or maybe even early retirement. But how do you know if your penny is the one? And where do you sell it to make sure you're getting top dollar? We'll answer those questions in an upcoming video, so make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on. Until then, start searching. Your future millionaire moment could be just one penny away.
Hey there, coin hunters. Imagine this: you're at the kitchen table, flipping through your change jar, thinking, there's gotta be something valuable in here. You pick up a 1970 Jefferson nickel, give it a quick glance, and think, it's just another nickel. But, what if I told you that this very coin, this humble little nickel, could be worth a small fortune? Yeah, I know it sounds too good to be true, but trust me, the 1970 Jefferson nickel has some surprising potential. We're talking up to $2 million. No, I didn't stutter, $2 million. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just be looking at your pocket change in a whole new way. Alright, let's break it down. The 1970 Jefferson nickel is part of the regular series, which is not too exciting, right? I mean, it's got Thomas Jefferson on one side and Monticello on the other, nothing super special there, at least at first glance. But here's the catch, some of these nickels are rare because of minting errors. Yeah, you heard me right, minting errors. That means some of these nickels were produced with weird, wacky, and unusual features that make them incredibly valuable today. One of the most famous 1970 Jefferson nickels is the one that was mistakenly struck with a double die error. This happens when the die used to stamp the coin is misaligned, which results in a second, slightly off-center impression of the design. Sounds like something you'd expect from a coin fail meme, right? But that error made these nickels stand out and sent collectors into a frenzy. Now, how in the world do you find one of these rare beauties? Well, the first step is simply knowing what to look for. These error coins are harder to spot than you might think, especially if you're just casually scanning your pocket change. The double die error is most noticeable on the letters in Liberty and In God We Trust, where they appear doubled or shadowed. It's like a ghost of Jefferson's face, spooky but valuable. If you find one with a clear double die, it's worth significantly more than face value. Some of these can sell for up to $2 million in perfect condition. Pretty crazy, right? I'll be honest with you, I didn't believe it when I first heard about these rare nickels. In fact, I remember finding a couple of 1,970 nickels in my change jar, and I tossed them aside. The whole valuable coin thing seemed like a myth to me, until a buddy of mine showed me one of these rare double die errors. It was the real deal, and he made a hefty profit from it. Needless to say, I've been a lot more careful about what I toss into my spare change jar ever since. If you're looking to spot one of these valuable coins, here's a tip: don't just look at the coin's year. Check the mint mark too. Some of the 1970 nickels were struck in the Denver Mint, and those with the right errors are where the real money's at. If you've got one with a D mint mark, it's worth spending a little more time inspecting for any doubling on the design. And don't be afraid to take it to a professional coin dealer if you think you've got a winner. Believe me, it'll be worth the effort. Oh, and one last thing, these rare nickels aren't the only ones out there. You can find all kinds of coins with minting errors that could lead to big paydays. I've made a habit of checking every coin I get from my pocket change, and so should you. You never know when you'll stumble across the next $2 million nickel. Or maybe you'll find a rare penny that's worth more than your car. It happens, so, next time you're sitting there with your change jar, remember, that 1970 Jefferson nickel could be hiding in plain sight, just waiting to be discovered. Who knew that some old pocket change could turn into a small fortune? You've got to be on the lookout, be patient, and maybe, just maybe, your next boring nickel could make you a millionaire. And hey, if you enjoyed this little coin hunt, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on more tips and tricks for finding coins worth money. Trust me, there's a lot more where that came from. Next week, I'll be diving into another coin that could blow your mind and your wallet. Catch you in the next one, and remember, keep hunting those rare coins, because you never know when you'll strike gold. Did you know that a simple nickel could be worth more than a used car? No, I'm not talking about the one you find at the bottom of your couch cushions. I'm talking about the 1971 Jefferson nickel. Stick with me here, this is one story that could change your life, or at least your bank account. So grab your favorite snack, get comfy, and let's dive into why this little coin could be worth a whopping $1.8 million. You might have one just sitting in your change jar, and trust me, you'll want to check after hearing this. Now, before you run off to check your pocket change, let's break down exactly why the 1971 Jefferson nickel is so valuable. First things first, it's not just any 1971 nickel. It's the rare variety, which might just be hiding somewhere in your coin collection without you even knowing it. Here's the deal, the 1971 Jefferson nickel has a special trait, an error in the minting process, which means a few coins were made with the wrong type of metal. Instead of the standard copper-nickel blend, some of these nickels were accidentally made with a different alloy. And when that mistake happened, Well, the value of those coins shot through the roof. So, why should you care? Because if you've got one of these special 1971 nickels tucked away, you might be sitting on a literal gold mine. Or, nickel mine. Let me take you back to a time when I thought I had the world's most valuable coin. I was about 12 years old, and I found this rare penny at the bottom of a change bucket at a garage sale. I thought it was some kind of hidden treasure. Fast forward to me, proudly showing it off at my school talent show, only to discover it was worth about a penny. And I'm not just talking about the face value. I mean, it was actually worth less than a penny because it was so worn out that I learned that day that not all old coins are automatically valuable. But when it comes to the 1971 Jefferson nickel, you really do want to check for those specific minting errors. Not all of them are worth $1.8 million, but some of them are in the ballpark of hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's kind of like finding that rare trading card. 1 minute, you're just flipping through a binder, and the next thing you know, you're holding a little piece of history. Okay, so where do you find one of these bad boys? The key is looking for the mint error, so if you see anything that looks slightly off with the metal or the markings, it's worth a closer look. And don't just check your loose change. Sometimes these rare coins can pop up in unexpected places, like estate sales or coin shows. You'll want to check the details like the date, mint mark, and wait to make sure it's not just another regular 1971 nickel. And if you think you found something special, make sure to get it evaluated by an expert before you start dreaming of buying that new car. So, what's the takeaway here? Never underestimate the value of a nickel. With the 1971 Jefferson nickel, you could be holding on to something worth millions, literally. Before you go and start digging through your couch cushions or raiding your piggy bank, make sure to give that 1971 nickel a second glance. Who knows? That little coin might just be worth more than the change in your wallet. If you've enjoyed this coin treasure hunt and want more tips on how to spot rare coins that could make you a fortune, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. I'm always here with more tips, tricks, and strategies for finding hidden gems in the world of coins. If you've got a nickel in your pocket right now, you might want to give it a second glance. No, seriously. I'm not talking about the kind of nickel you toss in the tip jar at your local coffee shop. I'm talking about the legendary 1972 Jefferson nickel that could be worth, wait for it, $1.6 million. Yes, you heard that right. $1.6 million. Now, before you start checking your coin jar like you're hunting for hidden treasure, let me tell you exactly how this happened and why this nickel is the real deal. Stick around, cause you're about to learn the shocking details behind this rare gem, and who knows, maybe you'll be the lucky one to find it. So, you're probably thinking, how in the world could a nickel be worth over $1 million? I get it. When we hear about big money coins, we tend to think of those fancy gold ones or silver dollars with a long history. But nope, the 1972 Jefferson nickel made waves for all the right and unexpected reasons. Here's the deal. In 1972, the U.S. Mint accidentally produced a small batch of nickels with a double die error. Basically, the coins were stamped incorrectly, leaving them with some very noticeable doubled features. Normally, these errors are rare, but this one was special. And of course, it wasn't noticed right away. Now, I know what you're thinking, that's cool, but how do I know if my 1972 nickel is one of these $1 million beauties? Well, let's talk about what to look for. The key giveaway is the double image on the obverse. That's the side with Thomas Jefferson's face. If you've got a nickel that shows a slight double stamp on the date or the word Liberty, congratulations. You've got yourself a potential gold mine. You'll also want to check for any doubling on the reverse side, particularly around the word Monticello. Now, let me tell you, this whole thing reminds me of a time when I thought I found a rare coin in my own collection. A few years ago, I was going through some old coins I inherited from my grandfather, who was way too busy collecting baseball cards, but hey, that's another story. I came across a 1943 copper penny. It looked so good, I thought, this has to be worth a fortune. Turns out, I got my hopes up too high. It was just a regular penny. Not even worth a whole dollar, haha. But hey, it still looks cool, right? So, as I learned the hard way, it's important to know what you're looking for. And trust me, when it comes to the 1972 Jefferson nickel, you want to be extra careful when inspecting it. The difference between a $1.6 million coin and a regular nickel can be pretty subtle, but it's worth the time to check. And if you're lucky enough to have one of these coins, what should you do next? First off, don't just go around flashing it like you're the king of coins. Get it appraised by a professional who specializes in rare coins. If it turns out that you've hit the jackpot, then you might want to keep it locked up in a safe, or even better, head straight to the auction house where big money changes hands. Alright, I know this whole $1.6 million coin thing sounds wild, but it's absolutely true. The 1972 Jefferson nickel with that double die error is a once-in-a-lifetime find. And if you've got one, you might just be sitting on a fortune. But here's the kicker, whether you've got one of these rare nickels or not, there are plenty of other coins out there that could be worth way more than you think. And I'm here to make sure you don't miss out on those opportunities. Now, I know what you're thinking, a Jefferson nickel. Really? But hold on to your piggy banks, because what I'm about to tell you might just make you look at that pile of change you've got lying around in a whole new way. Imagine finding a coin that's worth $1.5 million. Yep, you heard that right. And no, it's not a rare gold coin or something from ancient Rome. It's a 1973 Jefferson nickel. Crazy, right? So grab your magnifying glass, because today we're diving into how that 1973 nickel could be your golden ticket. You might just have one of these sitting in your pocket change. But before we get started, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more tips that could turn your spare change into a small fortune. Alright, let's get to the fun part. The 1973 Jefferson nickel isn't your average pocket change. It's actually become a collector's dream and a serious moneymaker. The story behind its value? Well, it all boils down to a small but extremely important mistake. But before I get too technical on you, let me hit you with a quick history lesson. Stay with me, it won't be boring, I promise. Back in 1973, the US Mint was pumping out nickels like it was going out of style. But here's the thing, they were experimenting with some new equipment and got a little sloppy with the minting process. As a result, a few of these nickels were struck with an error that made them not just valuable, but extremely valuable. What's so special about this mistake? Well, these nickels were supposed to have a regular nickel composition, 75% copper, 25% nickel, but because of a minting error, some of them were accidentally made with the wrong metal content. The error made these coins slightly more rare, and, as with all things rare, that means their value skyrocketed. So, how does a 1973 nickel go from a measly 5 cents to a jaw-dropping $1.5 million? Well, it's all about the rarity. Only a handful of these wrong metal nickels made it into circulation, and those few coins are what collectors are hunting for. The $1.5 million nickel, for instance, is a specimen that was discovered in mint condition. It was like finding a diamond in a haystack, and now it's sitting pretty in a private collection. Now, you might be thinking, do I have one of these? Well, you'll need to check a few things. First, take a look at the weight. These error coins are slightly heavier than normal nickels due to the wrong mix of metals. It's not just a tiny difference either. If you have one of these in your hands, you'll definitely be able to feel it. Also, look for any signs of strange wear and tear that could indicate it's one of the rare ones. A coin in mint condition is key to getting top dollar. Oh, and here's a funny story. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, just browsing around, looking for anything interesting, and I came across this old coin dealer with a bunch of nickel bags. Naturally, I asked him about any rare coins he might have, and he chuckled. He said, "Kid, everyone thinks they've got a rare nickel." Well, guess who ended up buying a bag for a few bucks and finding a 1973 nickel with a weird tint to it? Yep, I ended up making a nice little profit when I found out it had the rare error. Moral of the story? Don't underestimate what's in your loose change, so, if you're out there at your local garage sale, estate sale, or even just digging through your spare change jar at home, keep an eye out. Those nickels might look pretty ordinary, but there's always the chance that one of them could be worth a small fortune. I mean, who knew a coin worth just a nickel could turn into $1 million treasure? Alright, so before you start sifting through all your change like a mad scientist, let me just remind you of this. It's not easy to find a 1973 nickel worth $1.5 million, but it is possible. And the more you learn about rare coins, the better you'll get at spotting hidden treasures. 1974 Jefferson nickel could be worth over $1.3 million. I know what you're thinking. What? A nickel? That's the same coin I toss into the parking meter every day. Trust me, you're not alone. I used to think the same thing, but turns out, some of these everyday coins are hiding massive value. Stick around because in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to break down why your change jar might just have a treasure in it, and how you can spot a $1.3 million nickel when you see one. Let's dive into the 1974 Jefferson nickel. Now, the Jefferson nickel has been around since 1938, and you've probably seen one 100 times without thinking twice about it. But here's the kicker, not all 1974 nickels are created equal. Sure, you've got your standard run-of-the-mill ones worth, 5 cents. But there's a rare, special version of the 1974 nickel that can skyrocket in value. So how do you tell if you've got the golden ticket? First, let's talk about the condition. If your 1974 Jefferson nickel has a mint error, like a double die, for example, then you're in for a surprise. A double die happens when the die that strikes the coin has been misaligned, leaving the coin with a blurry or doubled appearance, especially around the words and numbers. If you get your hands on one of these, congrats, you've just found a rare piece of history. Now, let me tell you a quick story about my own experience with a rare coin. It was about a year ago when I was sifting through my change jar, trying to find a coin to make a quick video on. And wouldn't you know it, I found an old 1974 nickel buried in the mix. At first, I almost tossed it aside, thinking it was just another dull nickel. But something told me to take a closer look. Sure enough, there was a slight doubling on the Liberty and 1974 on the coin. I was shocked. It wasn't the exact $1.3 million version, but it was still worth a whole lot more than 5 cents. I sold it online for over $200. It wasn't $1 million find, but hey, it was a nice surprise. So, what should you do if you think you found one of these rare nickels? Well, if you spot a potential double die on your 1974 nickel, don't just jump to conclusions. Get that coin graded by a professional, because that's where the real value lies. A coin in perfect condition could be worth a small fortune, but it has to be authenticated to get the premium price. Now, let's talk numbers. The highest recorded sale for a 1974 Jefferson nickel with a double die error went for over $1.3 million. Yep, you heard that right, $1 million nickel. It's absolutely wild to think about, but the reality is, these rare coins can bring in serious cash if you know what you're looking for, but not every 1974 nickel is going to turn into $1 million payday. Still, that doesn't mean you should just ignore them. Even the regular, unblemished versions of a 1974 nickel can have some value if they're in excellent condition, especially if they've been preserved in mint sets. These coins are still selling for a pretty penny, think around $10 to $20 or more. Not bad for a nickel, right? So, what's the takeaway here? Next time you're scrounging around for loose change or digging through that old coin jar, keep an eye out for 1974 Jefferson nickels. Remember, you're not just holding on to any old coin, there's a chance you've got a $1.3 million treasure on your hands. And hey, if you want to learn more tips on spotting valuable coins, or get the latest scoop on which rare coins are worth big bucks, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got more exciting coin finds and money-making strategies coming your way. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on what's next. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting, because that next nickel could change your life.